Now that we've successfully added courses, locations, and instructors, as well as scheduling a class, it's time to collect evaluations. We'll now be talking about the various approaches to collecting evaluations so that you can identify the best approach or mix of approaches for your organization. We'll then go through practicing each of the approaches. There are three main ways to collect evaluations in Metrics That Matter. The first is the alias URL. This is a simple URL that displays the evaluations that are available for students to submit data against. This is best for in-class evaluations as it requires computers. The next approach we'll be talking about is emailing. In this approach, automatic emails invite learners to complete the evaluations. This is great for classes that don't have computers in class, or classes that have a high volume of students, or e-learning classes. The last approach that we'll go through is paper. This is collecting paper evaluations and manually entering them after the delivery. This is best for students without email addresses, or if you don't have computers in class, or sometimes as a backup. The first approach we'll talk about for collecting evaluations is the alias URL. When your organization is created in Metrics That Matter, it is given a vendor alias. If you were to go to www.metricsthatmatter.com/whatever your vendor alias is, it will display all the classes that have open evaluations for your organization. If you're unsure what your vendor alias is, and you'd like to use this method to collect evaluations, you can contact your Knowledge Advisors account team. If you're scheduling classes manually, classes will appear within 1 hour of scheduling on this site. You can also customize your alias. What this will do will reduce the list of classes that populate the dropdown. When we created a location, we named a location alias. An example of a custom alias then might be www.metricsthatmatter.com/your-vendor-alias/the location alias that you added. You can also limit your custom alias to show just instructors, clients, specific form types, or learning methodologies. To create a custom alias in Metrics That Matter, you'll need to go to the Administration tab and Manage Evaluations. Go down to Custom Alias. If you click Search, we'll be able to note the vendor alias. The vendor alias is noted either under the alias type or will be whatever is after metricsthatmatter.com/. If we want to add a custom alias, go to the Add tab. Choose your organization if you have multiple organizations, and name your alias. We're going to create an instructor-led training methodology alias right now. So we're going to name it ILT. We're going to go to Learning Methods, and then select the learning methodology. Click Add. Once you've created your custom ILT alias, what you'll see then is a list of classes that are scheduled against the instructor-led learning methodology. I'd like you to now try adding a custom alias. Click on Administration and go to Manage Evaluations. Click Custom Alias. You can search so that you can see the vendor alias. That'll be the part that comes after www.metricsthatmatter.com. Once you've noted the vendor alias, click the Add tab, type ILT in the alias field, click on Learning Methods, you can select Instructor-Led, click Add, and then you'll be able to go to www.metricsthatmatter.com/vendor-alias/ILT, and that'll show you the list of instructor-led trainings that have open evaluations, as long as it's been at least an hour since the class has been scheduled. The second method for collecting evaluations is emailing evaluations. If you're going to email evaluations, you will need to work with Knowledge Advisors to set up your email forms and configure your account appropriately. If you're going to email evaluations, this will require you to enroll students in each class ahead of time so that MTM can distribute emails automatically. Response rates for this method It's typically about 65%. We do recommend that you personalize your email forms and use reminders to make sure that everyone has a chance to fill out the survey. Additionally, if instructors explain the process in class before the students leave and let them know that they should expect an evaluation and what the data will be used for, this often helps increase response rate as well. What I'd like to show you now is how you can enroll students in the class so that MTM will distribute the emails. Once you've worked with Knowledge Advisors to configure your email forms and configure your account to be ready to email students evaluations, you'll then want to enroll students into classes that you've scheduled. To enroll students, you'll go to Administration, Schedule Training, and Students. You'll want to search for the class that you want to enroll students in. And under Actions, click Enrollments and Go. You're then presented with a field in which you can enter student email addresses. You can enter these manually, or you can copy and paste from a list. Once you've entered everything, click the Clean and Sort button. This will make sure that the information is in an order that MTM can consume. And once you're done, click Enroll Students. You're then prompted by the student enrollment list, and this lets you know which students have been enrolled in the class. I'd like you to take a few minutes now and enroll some students in a class that we just added. You can click Administration, Schedule Training, Students, search for the recently added class, select Enrollments from the drop-down and click Go. Enter email addresses either manually or copy and paste the list, click Clean and Sort, and then click Enroll. Go ahead and pause this training while you enroll your students and unpause to move forward. The last method for collecting evaluations using Metrics That Matter is using paper evaluations. We do recommend that you only use paper when necessary. For instance, when there are no computers in class and students don't have email addresses. Collecting paper evaluations will require you obviously to collect these in class so that you can use the manual eval entry tool to enter the evaluations later. If you are finding that you need to rely on paper evaluations, and you don't have the resources to manually enter these within your own organization, you can certainly consider outsourcing this paper entry process to Knowledge Advisors. To enter paper evaluations in Metrics That Matter, you'll go to Administration, Manage Evaluations, and the Manual Eval Entry tool. You'll want to search for the class that you want to enter evaluations for. Choose Enter Evals and click Go. A pop-up will then appear. If you don't see this pop-up, try clicking Control and Go to enter evals. This pop-up will prompt you to choose the survey that you'll be submitting data against. So most often that will be the post-event survey. If you have a student email address, you can enter it here. Or if the student chose not to provide an email address, you can click Submit Anonymously. You'll then be prompted to fill out any standard demographics the organization collects. And after that, you'll be prompted with the actual evaluation for the class. You can then complete the evaluation just as the student did on the paper. When you're done, you can click Next or Submit as the form prompts you to. I'd like you now to just take a moment to review how you can enter paper evaluations. You'll click on Administration, go to Manage Evaluations, and click Manual Eval Entry. You'll search for the class, select Enter Evals, and click Go. Feel free to pause this as you review the paper evaluation submission process. Collecting evaluations was the last item on the agenda for our Metrics That Matter admin training. During this training, we also went through an overview of the evaluation process, as well as adding courses, locations, and instructors to allow you to schedule the classes. So congratulations! You've completed our Metrics That Matter admin training. If you'd like to receive training on our Metrics That Matter reporting, please refer to one of our other training sessions that focuses on Metrics That Matter reporting, or you can register for our public training sessions at www.metricsthatmatter.com.